Hi everyone, today I am working with the All Squared Away stamp set. I love this stamp set and it caught my eye right away when I got the new catalog because something about the images in the catalog really struck me. I thought they were just adorable. I love these squares, something about the squares, and I kind of feel like this is clean and simple and not even fancy techniques, just really simple, but I kind of feel like I had a stamp set with squares like this eons ago, and we used the images, these bold images like this with that kissing technique, which I'll show real quick before we go. But I did want to do some cards today just with these two products because I signed up for a swap with some demonstrators that I met at a stamping event that I like to go to all the stamping events. So anyway, a lot of us demonstrators like to do card swaps when a new catalog comes out, and we each pick a stamp set so that, you know, there's 15 different other people in this one, so then I end up with 16 different samples from the new catalog. So it's really fun. And so I chose to do the All Squared Away stamp set, and so I need to make something, and I only have till the end of the month. So today I was sitting and playing with this, and I made 3 different cards, and I'll try to decide which one I want to use for my swap, but maybe you can even tell me which one you think is nice. But anyway, I wanted to show them to you because I think they're just adorable. I really do. I really like these squares a ton. So here are the cards that I came up with. Alright, so I've got this one, and I used 2 of the squares here in a row, and I just added some just of the new in colors. If you haven't seen them yet, we have new in colors, and I used all of them on this page, or this card. We've got fresh freesia, pale papaya, polished pink, soft succulent, and evening evergreen. So one of the reasons why I like this one is that it has all the new colors. So I might do this one. But that is, and I like the birthday. So, and it's simple. I like it. So that's one. And then I came up with this one. This one has a lot more details in it, in that it's just got a lot going on. I'm also using the new in colors, but I realized I didn't use the evergreen. So I'm using almost all of the new in colors. And then I'm using a new embossing folder here. And this one's called Dots and Squares, or Squares and Dots, I'm not sure. Checks and dots. Checks and dots. And I like the squares because I'm using squares, so that's fun. And these are small embossing folders. They're like mini size. And that's kind of fun because, you know, sometimes you don't always need that across the whole thing. So this way, for the price, you get 2 different textures, and they're not so big. So they're not as expensive for 2 textures. So it's really kind of nice. I like this. So this was my second one, and this one is almost like one in the catalog, so I'm thinking of not doing this one for the swap, but I do want to show it to you. And then this one I love because for something about this pale papaya and the polished pink together with the white, lots of white, I like this one. I don't know. So anyway, these are the 3 cards that we're going to do together. So let me set these aside. First, I want to do the hardest one first, just to be done with the hardest one, because I like to start with the hard ones first. Someone at Stamp Camp told me to do that once because she said by the time we get to the end of Stamp Camp, they're tired because we made 5 projects. So we start with the hardest one. Alright, so this is a piece of fresh freesia, and I cut it too long, so I'm going to trim that. Okay, this is 3.5 by 5.5 on a regular card base. So we're going to go with that. And then I already cut out my pieces because I didn't want this to be too long of a video. So I have one of each of the squares out of basic white. Okay, and then I cut in the dies. There are smaller little die flowers that fit on the flowers here. All but this one, but that's okay. I only wanted, excuse me, a couple from each of the flowers. And then I needed some backgrounds. And I was trying to decide what color I wanted and how they would look. So I already stamped a bunch of these. I'm just going to use them because I don't want to waste them. So I'm going to cut them out. Okay, and I'm just going to lay these on top of my stamped images. So the stamped image is slightly, it fits right inside. So I'm not going to bother putting glue around the edge because it barely touches it. So I'm going to put the glue behind the flowers and then center my square. There we go. For some reason, I like my squiggles pointing up. So I have them all going the same way. Now there are 4 different backgrounds, so I could have used 4 different, there are 4 different stamped backgrounds, so I could have done each one different. And I thought about it, but I already stamped these. And I thought, you know, maybe having them all the same is okay because I've got all the flowers are different and that might be too many different things going on. Although they have a catalog sample like that and it looks cute. Okay, so I've got all those down. And then we're going to add the flowers. Now I already cut them out. I cut out a whole bunch of flowers. And I have to kind of decide which one to put on there. I think I'll do this one. I don't have a pink one of that, so I'm switching it around. Okay, so now I'm going to glue those down. Now when I say hard, this card is not hard. It just has the most little pieces. I think the hardest part for me is just lining up this one. Although, look at that, I got it in the first try. Because all the petals are slightly different. I want to make sure that I get it going the right way. Now in the catalog they show a sample where they have left the white, but then they added color to the flowers by sponging, and that's a fun option too. Then you don't have as many little pieces. I don't mind the little pieces, but some people do. Oops, that one stuck to my thumb. Okay. I'm going to let those dry for just a minute so they don't shift while I stamp or when I'm putting it all together. So I'm just using a piece of scrap that I love to use up my little scraps. And I'm going to stamp the greeting in Fresh Freesia. And this says, "You are so worth celebrating." And I like that. And that's kind of good because it can work as a congratulations or a birthday. Or retirement, really. Lots of different reasons to celebrate, right? So this is kind of a nice greeting. Okay, so all my pieces are done. Oh, I need a bow, so I'm going to do that while this is drying. And I'm just using white baker's twine. Okay, now I will glue it all together. Alright. Okay, so I want to kind of center these on my card, and they go slightly past the embossed piece, the checks embossed, but I'm going to just not actually press them down because I want to make sure I went down far enough. I did not. So I just kind of held them there and didn't press. Let me do it again. Just a hair further down. Now I could have gotten out my ruler. My daughter took my ruler. My kids are home, are doing their school still at home. We only have 1 week to go. And she borrowed my ruler today. Okay. And then we'll do this one. And this one. Okay, now my bow, did you ever get that where one loop wants to just kind of be flat? When that happens, I kind of hold it really tight with my thumb and pull on it. And it usually does what I want. Okay, I'm going to put that on with a glue dot. Right here, almost in the middle. And then my greeting is going to go right on top. I keep doing that lately. I keep putting the bows under my greeting. I don't know, it's a thing. I keep seeing other people do it, and then I really liked it, and the knots don't then get caught in the mail. So I really have been doing that a lot lately. Okay, so there we go. There's card 1. Oh, I just noticed. Look at that. My curly cues are not going in the same direction. Let's see if I can save it. I think I put my flower on sideways. That's the problem. Or I wasn't sure which way. I think it could go either way, actually. It's kind of one of those corner stems. There, I fixed. Okay, next up, let's do this one. Okay, so that is using a base of thick Whisper White. And then I'm grabbing a 1.5 inch strip of this really pretty soft succulent gingham, and this is from the Pansy Designer Series paper, and I have to say I keep using the Pansy Designer Series paper and I have yet to use the Pansy stamp set. Something about the papers, there's all these ginghams in there and I just love them. So you know, I'm going to stamp first because sometimes you make a mistake. And then if you've already glued everything down, you're kind of stuck. So I'm going to use this one. It says, "The best thing about today is you." And on the inside, I'm going to do "Happiest of Birthdays." So I'm going to stamp that in the Evergreen, Evening Evergreen. And I have not used this stamp before. There. Okay. Now I will adhere this. And I want to go about maybe 3/4 of an inch, maybe almost a 1/2 inch away from the fold. Okay, and then I cut some little squares in soft succulent, and these are 2 1/8. And I'm going to put them down now. And I still had a few of these that I already stamped, so I'm going to go ahead. Now you can stamp directly on there, but I wanted the white to come through, so if I had stamped on the soft succulent, then I would have not gotten the white. Okay, now this time I want my little frames to pop up. So I'm not going to glue them directly. I'm going to put the little mini dimensionals behind them to get them to stand up a little bit. And luckily there are enough spaces behind these little images here to do that. So I can put them behind all the petals and the flowers. Now these are a little too skinny, so that's what I use these edges for. Just kind of cut myself little skinny ones. Now we do have these foam sheets where you could die cut with the foam sheet already on it, and the whole thing would be completely covered in foam. But if I do this for a swap, that would be a lot of foam because I have to make 16. And I don't know that I have enough to do that, so I'm not. And I think this works because you can't see the little dimensionals because I haven't gone on any of the edges, so they're just kind of floating, which is nice. Okay. There. Alright, now I'm just going to stick down some of my already cut out flowers. Here is that one. I love the polished pink on top of that evergreen. Okay, there is card 2. I like that one a lot. Okay, let's go with number 3. Okay, number 3 is using polished pink as the card base. And then again, I've embossed a little piece of polished pink with that checks and dots embossing folder, the check one. And this one is 1.5 inches. And that just goes, oh, but before I put it down, I'm going to do some embossing because, some heat embossing. But I want to kind of see where this is going to fall before. And I like to do my stamping and embossing beforehand because if I mess this up, you know, maybe I could cover it or something. Okay, so for the embossing, I need my Versamark. And I'm going to put this where I think I want it. And then I'm going to put the You Are So Worth Celebrating as far to the right as I can. And then I'm going to emboss that in the white. Now I will adhere my embossed piece. Kind of right in the center. Okay, now this time I'm using a piece of cardstock that is cut 2 1/8 square. And I'm going to stamp directly on that in Pale Papaya. want to get this centered, so if my head goes in front of the camera, I apologize. Okay. And now I am grabbing this little white square, and I'm going to add color to it by, I cut out another one, but this time I used the soft succulent, and I'm just going to cut out the leaves, which is why it's only half. So I just used scrap pieces of soft succulent. To cut that apart. Now I didn't have to cut apart a polished pink one because they have dies for that. So I already have those. So I'm going to glue these together. I love this polished pink. I didn't think we needed another pink, so when I heard that one of the new in colors was a pink, I'm not a super pink person anyway, and we just got that Magenta Madness, which I really like. I like Magenta Madness, so I thought, why do I need another pink? I have Melon Mambo, I have Magenta Madness, but you know what? I've been going for this pink. This is like my go-to pink. I really like it. Okay, so now we're going to add the leaves. I think that is cute. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for a minute so it doesn't shift while I'm trying to glue things down, and we're going to do the ribbon. So I'm using this white ribbon from the Flowers for Every Season. I only have a little bit left. Flowers for Every Season. I might have another whole roll, but I'm glad to be finishing off a roll. I always feel like I've accomplished something when I finish an entire roll of ribbon. Okay, anyway, Flowers for Every Season Ribbon Combo Pack. It's a nice combination of 3 ribbons, and there's like a thick, a medium, and a thin, and they're all great. So I would check that out. It's from the last catalog, so I'm really glad that they carried it over because this white ties really nicely, and I've been using a lot of the Baker's Twine. It's got silver in it. It's really nice. Anyway, I like to use tear and tape when I use ribbon because then I can pull it up and reposition and that kind of thing, and I know it's not going to go anywhere. So I put a little strip down of the tear tape, and then I'm just snaking this ribbon, this white. See, I went too far off the end, so I'm going to pull it back up. And then, there. And then because I'm going over ribbon, I just want it to stay down. And you know, sometimes you're worried, is the adhesive going to come up? Is it floppy? So I'm going to put this down with the tear tape as well, just to be sure, because the tear tape is stronger. And I know it's not going anywhere, and I like to do that on top of ribbon. Did I do it on the right side? I did. Okay. So I like my curly cues going up, like I said, so I wanted to make sure the top and the bottom got the tear tape, because that's kind of going to avoid the ribbon a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to put this down right on top, center it, make sure you're not going over your U. Stick that down, and then this finishing piece is just going to get put on with those little mini dimensionals again, and you can pop some behind the flowers and the leaves. I just like that. I love that white frame. I like the 2 layers. Alright, I'm pleased with this one. Okay, so these are my 3 all squared away samples, and I hope that you like them. And I do, before you go, I want to show you that kissing technique because I know I'm going to use it again. I couldn't do it for my swaps because the swap is specifically for this stamp set, but I know that this is going to be a fun stamp set to do this technique with. So let me find the stamp set. Here we go. And let's go with the dots. I haven't used that one yet, and I know it's nice and clean. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm just going to grab that pink again. Okay, so you're going to ink up one stamp. Alright, so you're going to ink up one stamp with the patterned, and then you can do a couple different things. You can either, and I think I'm going to try it just because, why not? I'll try things, and if I waste paper, you don't have to, right? I'm going to ink up another one. This, you have to find a solid image, so I'm going with flowers from the In Bloom because they're all nice and bold, solid images. Let me grab a scrap of white here. Okay, and then you take the two stamps and you're going to kiss them. See, so like they kiss like this. And then you stamp, and look at that. You get a really fun texture and pattern on top of the solid image. So that's how you do that technique. So I'm sure that I'm going to do that, and I will probably do it with these flowers. I'll do a different video for that. And then your ink pads didn't get the two colors in it because this is your two colors of ink kind of melded there, and you'd have to clean completely to do it again because probably I don't have enough ink on there any longer to do it, but let's just see what would happen. Anyway, you get some fun little techniques on that. You know, this might be fun on a star. I don't know. Super fun technique. And I really like it, and I love the two colors. So that is a technique that you'll see coming up soon. And I hope that you'll check out that All Squared Away stamp set because it's adorable. Sentiments are great, and the dies are super fun. Here they are one more time. Thanks so much for watching, and if you have a favorite card that you think I should do for my swaps, let me know, because I do have to make a lot of these today. I'll have these up at my blog too, so you can get a still photo if you want to look at them up close and hold on to one to maybe case or something. Anyway, I hope that you like it. I hope you'll leave me a nice comment, and I hope you'll subscribe and come back. Thanks for watching. Bye!